What is up, internet? Before I get into this, it's been a minute since I made another video. I just want to talk to you guys about why I think we need Nano listed in Coinbase. And, I do know that Nano is currently available in Kraken and Binance. These are crypto exchanges that are well known in the crypto community. However, the friction on purchasing crypto on these sites are really, really high. With Kraken and Binance, they're almost always clogged up with pending KYC verifications. And once you do get accepted, you still have to wait for your ACH wire transfer to get through your platform. And that usually takes around 5 to 10 days from my experience. With Coinbase, their KYC process usually takes 10 minutes and at most 24 hours from my personal experience. You can just link your debit card in there, and once everything is linked, you're able to purchase crypto instantly. With this level of ease, it targets a certain demographic where they just want to get their feet wet with crypto and maybe invest $20 to $100. And they usually end up getting Bitcoin, but that's a different video. Alright, speaking of ease, I want to get to my first point. Easy for new adopters, right? How easy it is for new adopters to buy crypto on Coinbase. I remember putting in my first Bitcoin purchase with Coinbase a while back, and I didn't know much about fees, decentralization, all the other advanced stuff that I know now. Coinbase really made it easy for me to get a little experience with crypto by making it easy, and fast via their KYC and fast debit card verifications. I believe when I bought it, I got it within 10 minutes or something like that. To add to this point, though, with all the more advanced crypto terms getting thrown around everywhere on the internet, and I say these with quotes because when I got started with crypto, I didn't know the terms like P2P, exchanges, cold wallet, hot wallet, backup phrase, and all that stuff, right? It was really a little bit intimidating to get into crypto. But with Coinbase, it kind of just felt like the Robinhood of crypto instead of stocks, right? I'm personally not the biggest fan of Robinhood, just putting it out there for explanation purposes. But I'm letting myself kind of advertise the platform just for this reason. So Robinhood made it easier for people to invest in the stock market, and Coinbase made it easier for people to invest in crypto. And let's talk about accessibility, or lack thereof, right? Since Robinhood helped make stocks accessible to people, my hope is that Coinbase makes investing in Nano accessible. So there are a few posts on the Nano subreddit that talks about how difficult it is to buy Nano, especially for beginners. I understand their frustrations, as I had to buy Nano in the US with Simplex, which eats up a good amount of fees, which is usually 10 to 15%. But so the first one is, it's just too hard to buy. This guy said that he's been trying to buy Nano for weeks and it's been so difficult. And they're talking about the fees too, and they're trying all these other exchanges, and just I feel bad for this guy because it's really hard to buy Nano. Even for me now, I still my stomach still hurts when it's when the fees are just too high, and I'll get more to that later. Buying Nano is very hard. Yeah. Why is it so hard to buy Nano, right? And this is just easily explained by this post. Talk about how Kraken's taking so long with their KYC and etc. Just they have no way to use credit card. They tried Simplex and there's errors everywhere. And then this guy's card works on Coinbase, but he doesn't get the option to buy Nano. So that's one lost adopter right there. And as of today, which is March 23rd, 2021, one Nano costs about $4.79. And $100 usually would get you 17.43 Nano. That's what I'm saying, right? Which is worth, if you do the math, that's actually worth $85. This means that this transaction alone has 15% in fees in itself. And that's just too expensive for someone that's trying to get into Nano. Imagine buying $10,000 worth of Nano and losing a good $1,500 to that transaction alone. That's already a month worth of rent. And $1,500 is not like a small amount of money to most people, right? Yeah. Okay, let's get to the next point. So to add to the points that I brought up earlier, right? Like Coinbase is just easier, man. Like easier, faster, and cheaper. Since Nano is currently not in Coinbase, I'm going to talk about Bitcoin here, where they charge a 2% fee, I believe, per purchase. So people usually recommend buying Bitcoin at the cheaper fee and then transferring it to Exodus and then exchanging it to Nano for free. With all the purchase fees, withdrawal, and exchange fees from Coinbase, it's definitely nowhere close to the standard that the majority of the people are paying just to get their hands on Nano. And like I said, that is just nowhere close to being beginner friendly, right? Like, who wants to lose out 15% on fees and to be part of something that they believe in? With Coinbase, they can just link their ID and debit card, and within 24 hours or less, they're up and running, purchasing their own Nano. Think about a world today where we can all buy Nano that fast and cheap. Okay, well, I don't want to waste more of your guys' time. I just want to close this video out. I don't think we'd be able to hit a new all-time high prices if Nano never gets listed on Coinbase. The math just doesn't work out. Coinbase is just like the Robinhood for crypto. And, for example, like think about all of the Robinhood users, myself included, that unfortunately got screwed on GameStop. Without Robinhood, they wouldn't have been able to buy GameStop stocks if it wasn't around, simply because of the fact that the other brokers are more complicated than it needs to be. So in this case, Binance and Kraken. Once Nano is in Coinbase like it deserves to be, I think it does, I really do think that the economy for Nano will just explode. Within 52 weeks of being listed in Coinbase, I personally think that it can hit at least 10x the price just by being accessible to new adopters. New adopters are typically not going to know about Nano compared to the main coins like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, and etc. But once they do, it's easy for them to find and purchase through Coinbase, right? Yeah, well, that kind of concludes my video here. I just want you guys to, think about a world where Nano is accessible on Coinbase, and just like being able to buy Nano, take that Nano out, and then use that on your daily transactions, right? Like send your friends Nano, buy stuff, like gamble, whatever it is. Like, it's just that like it's so easy to buy Nano. It would be so easy to buy Nano in Coinbase, and like so cheap and so fast that it's kind of like insane how there's so much unrealized potential with Nano because of it being so inaccessible through like, all these like very, very advanced or like complicated brokers. And I really personally do think that it's going to be a great look and like good for the Nano community, that when Nano gets listed in Coinbase, that it's just going to be good for us, good for everyone. It's going to be accessible. There's going to be more all-time highs. Yeah, there's just too much to fit in this one video. But yeah, thank you for your time. I really do appreciate you guys stopping by and like, listening to what I have to say and share. I left my little QR code for my Nano wallet, and I'm more than happy to receive some of your grateful donations with Nano. But that's definitely not mandatory. I just want you guys to have it out there just in case you guys want to help out. But first and foremost, I want you guys to have your own Nano, and hopefully through Coinbase, right? So thank you for your time, and see you guys in the next one.